Hi, it's me Leo, and in this video we're going to be unboxing the new PlayStation 5 Slim discless edition. So in this video we're going to be unboxing this console, setting it up, and I'm going to be giving you my initial impressions on this console from the perspective of someone that mainly uses an Xbox. So this is going to be all new to me, so this should be interesting. But before we get on with this unboxing, it's time for a cup of coffee. So we're going to start this video off by having a look at the box itself. So the PlayStation 5 Slim is obviously smaller than the original PlayStation 5, and as you would expect, the box itself is smaller. It no longer has the carrying handle at the top, which I think the original PlayStation 5 did have. And in terms of the packaging, there's nothing really fancy about the packaging, it's just a box. So it has an image of the PlayStation 5 Slim on the front, and then if we move the box around to the back, there are some images of PlayStation exclusive games. On the side down here it does say 1 terabyte, which is important because the PlayStation 5 Slim has a terabyte, whereas the original PlayStation 5 has about 800 gigabytes. So, and with this being the digital only version of the console, it is good to see that extra storage. It means you can store 1 or 2 more games, which is always good to see. And then you definitely know that this is the discless version of the console because it says so. Just here it says disc-free console, and then it also says the same thing on the top, disc-free console. So you want to make sure that you're not buying the wrong version of the console. And in terms of pricing, I paid just over £300 for this console, and I believe the version of the PlayStation 5 with the disc drive is about £80 more. So I think it's time to look inside the box to see what you actually get. Hopefully a PlayStation 5. So to unbox this console, there's a little tab at the top you need to cut. There we go, using my trusted cheese knife. Only my day ones will remember that from when I used to make cheese reviews. All right, let's put the box on its side and pull the console out. Put this to the side. Cool, so there's another cardboard box that has the PlayStation logo on it. Let's have a look inside. So I think the best thing to do is to open it like so. I think it's all going to slide out from here. Oh. It's all just coming apart. All right, so what do we have here? So what's just fallen out are these little plastic things. I don't know if you can see them, but these are the brand new PlayStation 5 stands. Well, they're actually tiny and feel quite plasticky, but if you want to stand the console on its side, this is what you use. So we're going to try these out in a bit. There's also a power lead, so this is pretty standard. It looks just like the Xbox power lead. Let's put that to the side. Oh, here we have the controller. Nice. So here you go, here is the PlayStation 5 controller. I don't think it's going to focus. I think my camera's just focused on my face. But here it is. You've probably already seen one before. I don't think this is any different to the standard PlayStation 5 controller. It's not any slimmer. Cool, pop that to the side. Let's get the actual console itself out. All right, what do we have here? So also comes with a USB-C cable, which I presume is to charge the controller. And then there's also a HDMI cable, which is good. But you've probably got loads of those lying around anyway. So I think this flips forward. Don't know why this is causing me so much difficulty. All right, pull the console itself out. And there we go, inside this bag is the PlayStation 5. There we go. So here it is, initial impressions. It's obviously slimmer than the original PlayStation 5 and it's not particularly heavy, but it's definitely not as small as an Xbox Series S. So my opinion on the design of the PlayStation 5 is that I think it does waste a lot of space. Like, it has these this collar. I'm sure a lot of people will agree with me, it's a bit of an awkward shape. Just notice there's a little bit of tape at the back we're going to take off. I mean, it looks like a PlayStation 5, but it is slightly different in design to the original PlayStation 5. The first thing you'll notice, obviously, that it's smaller, lighter, and it does have a line down the middle. Don't know if you can see in the reflection, but this bottom panel is matte, so it's got like a grippy texture on it, whereas the top panel is shiny plastic. and that's the same on both sides, which is interesting. On the front of the console they have updated the ports. It's now 2 USB-C ports, but the ports on the back are still the same, so there are still USB-A ports on the back, HDMI, your Ethernet, and then your power cable. And then there's obviously the power button on the front, which is very similar to before. One thing I was wondering before this console arrived was how I was going to stand it up next to my TV. Originally I thought I was just going to stand the console up like this, because this is how I assumed you would stand the console up, but I've just realised it's actually not that stable on a table. And this discless version is particularly unstable because there's obviously no disk drive to add more base to the console. Just quite a slim console, and I can imagine that if you were to knock this, that it would easily fall over, which is not what you want. If you did want to stand your PS5 upright like this, Sony does sell a base plate separately. It looks like this, so you can put your console on top of that and it'll be more stable, so that's probably the safer thing to do. And I have noticed there aren't any rubber feet on the bottom, so I think out of the box Sony don't really want you to stand the console upright. I think they want you to either use these little stands and lie it sideways, or buy the separate base stand. So let's test out this little PlayStation 5 stand that comes in the box. So I don't know if you can see on the video, but inside this slit are some little holes that these feet are attached to, so you've just got to push them into there. So it should look something like this, and this allows you to stand your console up sideways without it rocking about. This is probably something else you can't see, but there's a little triangle, circle, X and square that the stand uses. So it's basically a tripod with 3 different points, there and there, that you stand your console up on. So we're going to check how sturdy that actually is, and how stable it actually is, because I'm not convinced that's going to be very stable. So I mean, there it is. If you put pressure here, it seems to stay still. Oh, yeah, it's not very stable. This is what I mean by the design of the PlayStation 5. It looks cool, but it's a bit of an awkward design. So essentially, this is the way that Sony wants you to kind of stand your console. If you just buy the console on its own, you have to go and buy an extra stand if you want to stand it upright safely. Otherwise, it's likely to sort of topple over because it's just a very awkward design. So for comparison, I've just gone and got my Xbox Series X. Here it is. And in my opinion, the Xbox Series X is a more practical design. It may not look quite as futuristic or as cool as the PS5. And what I mean by that is it has a rubber base, so it's easy to stand up. This console also has 4 rubber feet on the side, so you can actually stand it on its side perfectly safely, which is nice. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this unboxing of the PlayStation 5 Lite. If you have and you've made it this far, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 4,000 subscribers, which is absolutely amazing. And we're going to try and aim for 20 likes on this video. And also comment down below which design you like better. Do you like the design of the PlayStation 5 Slim or the Xbox Series X? Let me know in the comments down below. So now that we've unboxed the PlayStation 5 Slim, we're now going to set it up on my TV. And I'm going to be honest, I've never actually set up a PlayStation before. So this is going to be interesting. So we're going to turn the PS5 on for the first time. Let's just turn the TV on. And then let's press the power button. Whoa, that's pretty cool actually. It's got blue lights. See if the controller's got battery. Oh, it's making flashing blue, which is a good sign, I guess. Huh. Right, not gonna lie, that is cooler than the Xbox boot up screen. I don't think my speaker's on. Right, so it wants me to connect the controller by wire to the console, so I'm gonna go and do that. Right, so the controller is now connected to the console, so hopefully it's happy. Right, so that's the setup screen. Let's turn the screen reader off. So it's now prompting me to connect to Wi-Fi, so I'm going to do that. So the console is now connected to Wi-Fi, so what was it asking us to do? Adjust screen area. There we go, okay. Alright, so this is probably adjusting the HDR. Make it brighter until that sun is barely visible. There we go, that's barely visible. And then make that symbol barely visible. There we go. Say that's barely visible. Cool. Alright, so what mode do we want it? I guess low power mode's always good. Just leave it on that. Alright, this disagreement. I agree. You have to do that to actually use the console. Now it's got a software update, so we're gonna continue with that. Update. All right, so that's 1.1 gigabytes. It's gonna take about 10 minutes, so I'll jump back in once this is done. Now I want you to make an account, but I can't be bothered to do that right now, so we're gonna do that later. I seem to vibe with this duck the most, so we're gonna go with that. Get to name my character as well. There we are, I think it's all set up. I just need to probably make a PlayStation account so I can download some games, but yeah. So that was my video on unboxing the PlayStation 5 Slim. Hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to subscribe and hit that like button. And I'll see everyone in my next video. If you've got any questions about the PlayStation 5 Slim, leave them in the comments section below. I'm getting laughed at, so we're gonna end this video now.